Hi everyone and welcome to this new Adobe Live show. This week we are live from the Adobe 99U conference in New York, and it's a special format. We are very happy to welcome every hour new creative people from New York, from Brooklyn, and we will spend 1 hour, we're very lucky, with Liang Shi. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're super excited. Let us know where you're from in the chat. I see some people already chatting. I saw someone saying, "Hey, I want to see someone talking about UI UX design."
Yeah.
Yeah, but we will speak about a lot of creative fields because she can do everything. Okay? So we will talk about a lot of creative fields and a little bit of experience design because someone asked, so
Yep.
we will. And just to explain the format, so we will spend the first half, so 30 minutes discovering your work, also answering the questions from the chat. From our friends, I see Rachel, she's from Florida. I see Alisa, who will be our guest next week. Oh, thanks for watching. We have people from Texas, Canada, Brazil, so all around the world.
Awesome. I'm from Texas, so hello, all the Texas people.
Hi, Texas. Hi, Texas. Should we?
Hey, y'all.
Hi,
How's
y'all.
it
Should we
going?
speak like this? Okay. I sound like Sean Connery when I try to pick an accent. It's very bad, very bad. So yeah, we will talk about experience design, but not only. So during the first half and the second half, you can get a chance to have your portfolio reviewed by Liang Shi. So, how does it work? There is a portfolio review tab. Okay, if you're on behance.net/live, there is a chat tab, info, and portfolio review. Make sure to send me the link to your portfolio. What type of portfolio would you like to review?
Anywhere from UX UI, packaging, experience design, all of those things.
Yeah, any type of experience, and also packaging, because you really have different backgrounds, I would say. So let's jump in, and don't hesitate to ask questions. Okay, I will keep an eye on the chat to pick the best questions, and hopefully you will tell us your best answers. Okay, let's try that. So first, I want to let's jump in to your website. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the URL first. What's happening with the URL?
So the URL is lian.gs, which I think the .gs is from South Sandwich Islands or something like that. I don't know really exactly.
It's an island?
I don't really know where it is, but it was a cool URL. I was trying to get .ng so that it could be lian.ng, just have my first name, but that's Nigeria and it's really hard to get a .ng address.
Ah, okay.
Yep, but the cool thing about this address is my email address is hi@lian.gs, and if you rearrange the letters hi at the very end, it actually spells out my whole name.
Oh my God.
I know, but the fact I have to explain it every time, but when you get it, you're just that's
so
cool.
good. Yeah, if someone can check in the chat, let us know the .gs, where it's from. We have Christiane saying Bonjour de France.
Oh, hi.
Bonjour, Christiane.
I'll be in Paris in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So yeah, you can meet, have a coffee.
Yeah, tell me where to get the best croissants, please.
Yeah, we will speak a lot about dessert. You will understand why. So that's your website, and what I would like to do, 30 minutes, is just to deep dive in the project, understand what happened behind the scenes, and also what's super interesting for us this week is to understand how you present your work. Mm-hmm. Okay. So which one should we open first?
We can start with Soma Water. I feel like that was kind of one of the most comprehensive projects that I've worked on.
Okay. So Soma Water, you see it's very minimalistic, as you can see. Okay, let me refresh.
Yeah, I mean,
just to make sure. Oh, I know why.
I can give a little background on just how I got started.
Yeah.
But basically, I started off actually doing a lot of graphic and web design, starting with Adobe Photoshop version 4.
Version 4, okay.
Yeah, that was quite a long time ago.
I think version 4, you didn't have the history. You only had one undo. Remember that?
It was a hard time back then.
Intense.
Yeah. Started doing web design when I was kind of in middle school, and doing that all through high school. And then when I was in college, I kept doing design, did a bunch of internships at ad agencies, but I was also working as a wedding photographer on the weekends. So there was kind of this parallel with design and photography. So I did wedding photography actually for 6 years. as part of my past life. And after college, decided I no longer wanted to do that and really pursued design. Ended up getting into product design. So a lot of it was focused on UX UI. I did that when I went to school in Austin. And then graduated, got a job in that, and then moved to New York, where I really focused on doing UX UI and was mostly a freelancer. And then I joined Soma Water as their creative director, and this is where I landed.
So you were in-house
Yes.
designer for Soma Water.
Yes.
I saw someone, I think Alisa in the chat, saying that she's an avid Soma consumer. So you have
Awesome.
people who are using the Soma Water. So is it like a type of device to filter the water? Like,
Yes,
okay.
It's a beautifully made device
Yeah, the design is
to filter
amazing.
your water. It's beautiful to have on your table for dinner parties and at home. It's just the nicest looking option out there.
We have a question from David Samuel. So we will try to answer all your questions. What do you think about uploading more works on Behance or going out to meet people? So maybe the balance, I would say, between like showing your work online and also trying to build a network, like physical network.
Yeah, I would say, so when I was a freelancer, about 80% of my clients came from referrals. So I would definitely say meeting people is very, very important. I think on a network like Behance, your work has to really, really stand out, and there's just a lot of people, obviously, that they're looking for. When you make that connection, they really can get to know you, know your personality, the way you think, and that helps a lot in kind of getting the clients to understand you and hire you.
Yeah, and on that note, so we will talk about this. So you were saying that you started with Photoshop 4.
Yeah.
So I guess you worked on a lot of projects. But if you visit her website, it's interesting to notice that there are only 6 project features. But yeah, we can talk about this later. But I have a question in mind, as you can tell. And someone says, Ryan says, he loves the clean look of your site. Yeah,
Oh,
I love it
thank
too.
you.
It's very clean. So yeah, Soma Water. So what is the story behind this project? So you were creative director. Okay.
Yes, I was the creative director at Soma and kind of oversaw the redesign of their website. So I joined at a time when they first started, they launched on Kickstarter, and it was kind of e-commerce only. And then when I joined, they were just starting to kind of launch nationwide in stores at Williams-Sonoma and Target. And so I kind of helped redo the entire branding to kind of elevate them and make them feel like a trusted, beautiful brand that people felt comfortable buying also in stores. And so part of that was kind of the creative direction of the photography, as well as redesigning the website.
So you took these pictures?
I art directed them. I did not shoot these.
So you had a photographer and you were like the one like doing like...
Yes, there was a lot of minor adjusting, tweaking. I went prop shopping. That was my favorite part.
So we had actually an Adobe Live show with photographers taking like this type of picture live. So if you watch the replays, you will understand why I'm doing like...
Yeah.
It's like to get a shot like this with the shadow, the composition, like it takes hours, like maybe 400 shots to get this one. So it's fascinating, but it's a tough job. Okay, so these are, I guess you can subscribe, so that's the business model, I guess, to receive the filters.
Yeah. So interestingly enough,
I like this, like adding the...
Oh yeah. Our e-commerce packaging actually, it's just a brown box, and so this was kind of learning really how to design for shelves. So this was the packaging that went into Target, so having to understand like what's the information you need to put on the shelf, how do you make it stand out? Those are all kind of considerations that came up.
Liam is asking whose replay was the product photography. You can check, it was Nicole Clemetson, and she did a lot of product photography live with us. It was very fun. I love this one also, like adding these elements. So how do you do like this blue background and like it's so clean? Like do you use a little bit of Photoshop after? Because okay.
So we worked with an amazing product photographer in New York City, and we shot this on a blue seamless. And the way
so that's the seamless here.
Yes. And that horizon is added in Photoshop in post. So it's not a real horizon line,
Okay.
Yeah, we also have versions of it without a horizon line, but we wanted to ground everything so it looked a little bit more realistic.
How did you do this?
That is Photoshop.
Wow.
Yeah.
smart move.
Yeah.
Good job.
But basically, the way this is composed even was intentional that these things are actually very spaced out, and we wanted to be able to recompose the images as needed, because on packaging, sometimes you have something skinny, sometimes you have something wide. For web, it's a different dimension. And so we had these kind of shot separately and kind of apart so that we could recompose them together.
To have a responsive experience too. Oh.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
And someone was asking, do you use also some 3D software, such as Cinema 4D?
For these, we did not. We actually wanted to shoot them all to kind of have as realistic of a feeling as possible.
It looks great. It looks very clean, so it's not easy, especially with water.
Yeah, water is very hard to shoot.
Tricky
Yeah,
to shoot.
people are
with the light, the reflection.
Yeah, they get confused about what color water should be.
So how was it? Because you said like you were freelancing a lot. So how was it to work as a in-house designer? Like, what is the difference? What are the benefits, or maybe the
I think being in-house is really great sometimes because you get to work with the team. It's very collaborative. And as a freelancer, it's much more like you run your own show, you have to run your own schedule, everything is kind of, you set your own deadlines. There's pros and cons to each. Obviously, as a freelancer, there's much more flexibility in your schedule, but also at the same time, I would find that I'd be working like 7 days a week.
Yeah, there was no break.
There is no break. So sometimes I feel like having a full-time job is almost like being on a break, because you only have set hours and you're like done and you're fine.
Okay, what about jumping into another project?
Yeah.
Yeah? Which one?
Maybe Avocado. That kind of was one of the next projects I worked on.
Avocado.
Yeah, so this one is much more UX UI heavy. I also did the branding for them, but basically...
So you did the identity.
Yes.
That's cool.
So basically, I also helped them come up with a name, but it's a chat system that lets you a lot of businesses don't have like texting support, and so basically you give them a phone number that people can then text to, and then have that be a way of communication.
Oh, okay. To text your customers, I see.
Yeah.
So you also worked on the guess the UI for the website.
Yep. So I did the marketing website as well as doing the UX UI for the actual product. Yeah.
So it's a web app?
It's a web app.
Okay. Yeah, it looks great. I mean, it's challenging. Like every time you have to design, even an email app or something like Slack, like instant messaging. There's so many readability changes.
Yes.
What was the most challenging for you, like on this?
I think for this, it was just kind of, there were so many flows, and so as you can see, there's like 4 panels here, and making sure, especially for responsive,
1, 2,
how
3,
all of that
4
operates and works together. And then, so the whole design thinking behind this was trying to make it as intuitive as possible, making it feel like it's like a mailbox, inbox app of sorts, so that people are just like, okay, I can jump in and I can understand how it works.
And and what was your process like to design this page, like before, like the handing it off to developers?
Yeah.
So did you use Photoshop for that? Like, what was your do you do some user testing with the okay, so basically
my process first is always starting off with wireframes, figuring out just kind of UX wise how things should flow and work. And then it's kind of like, I usually use like a user testing website and have people kind of click through even very rough prototypes are helpful just to see if people understand as they're clicking through things. And then I kind of start working on the visual side, working with the client to make sure, we create a mood board to make sure the UI is going the direction of what they wanted. Okay. But luckily they liked my style, which is usually simple and clean.
Yeah, and it looks great. Like, it's very easy to understand the flow, very easy to read. It looks great. So, if you're interested, also for our friends watching us live, if you want to see also some UX designers and UI designers creating live a prototype, next week we will be live from San Francisco with 3 UX designers, and I saw one of them is in the chat actually, Alisa, and they will work in Adobe XD. So Adobe XD is one of the new Creative Cloud app. That lets you actually design and prototype screen and do some user testing too. You should check it. Like, it should be super helpful for your projects.
Yes.
And make sure to tune in next week. It's a big live stream for Adobe XD. You will understand why next week, but we will be live on Tuesday. Okay, so you were the only designer on this project?
Yes, this was
Okay.
like literally just me and the two co-founders.
Okay. And then so the mobile too. So was it like a mobile app? Oh no, it's a web app too.
Yeah,
So,
it's a responsive web app. So,
okay, wow.
I didn't show it in here, but it's actually, we did kind of different responsive sizes. So there's also a tablet version as well as the desktop that you saw. So it was kind of, had to work with every device.
Okay, no, it's awesome. And did they do a native app too, or they wanted to stick to web?
At the time, it was just web.
Web, yeah. Just to release it fast, and it's easier to update. You don't need the approval from Apple.
Yep, that's true.
A lot of advantages, and it's easy to discover too. So I understand why. The only benefits you will have with native apps are maybe notifications, this type of stuff.
That's true.
Okay, you have great, beautiful app. It's a neat app, lovely. Yeah.
Aw,
Good
thank
job.
you.
Really like it, apparently. That's cool. Okay, should we? Are you
Yeah.
hungry?
Yeah.
I'm hungry. What's going on here?
So recently, actually, I've been kind of, I started off my career doing kind of UX UI design, which I kind of see as like very visual and a little bit of interaction. And recently I've gotten really, really into designing for literally all five senses. That is like what I'm obsessed about. And this project, it's called Dessert Goals. Basically, it's a dessert festival in New York City that a friend and I started. And it's kind of like designing for your taste buds, designing for all five senses, what you see, what you hear, how you enjoy the dessert. So it's an all-out festival for dessert.
That's beautiful. And so you see now we have a countdown, which means that you still have about, I would say maybe 13 minutes to submit your portfolio, okay? We want to review portfolios and get your feedback on the work and how you present your work. I'm sure we will learn a lot just having you like reviewing portfolios. So you have 30 minutes to submit your portfolio if you want us to review it. It will be directly on behance.net/live in the portfolio review tab. So beautiful shot. I can already tell like a lot of work on the lights.
Can you tell it's my hand?
Yeah. Beautiful reflection here. Look at the shadow. Beautiful
Thank you.
composition. Great job.
So for Dessert Goals, I do all of the photography.
Wow.
Best part of the job, all these vendors send us their desserts, we shoot them. This is a shot of the entrance of the festival.
So that's a festival.
Yep.
You were telling me that it became a very popular festival.
So our first few festivals, they all sold out within an hour.
Wow.
And our last one was our biggest one yet. It was completely sold out. Over 5,500 people came. We had 25 vendors.
Whoa,
Yeah.
look at that.
And that was literally like me holding the ice cream with the camera like this.
So you work, you say, on the experience design for the festival. So
Yes.
it's more than the website, I guess.
Yes. So it's literally like, what are you feeling? What are you seeing? What are you thinking?
Wow.
From like the moment you see from, the Facebook event page to like the moment you walk to the entrance, and
Okay.
it's like, what are you hearing? Like we curate this playlist that's all about having fun, nostalgia, a lot of
Yeah.
dessert-related
Upbeat.
songs. Yep. We usually place like a waffle vendor at the entrance, so like the first thing you smell is like these amazing waffles. So a lot of thought goes into even just like the flow of things. What's your first impact when you walk into the event?
Yeah, someone thought it was 3D renders. No. Oh, so you did also like the identity, graphic design?
Yes.
Oh my
all
God,
the
you went
design.
full on. You did everything.
Yeah.
It's so playful. It's great. Yes. I discovered this with a guest, Shona X. She's based in Brooklyn. Like I had no idea about people saying yes.
Yeah. So this
no, I get it.
This was some of the artwork that we had when you walked in.
Okay.
So we actually had a hallway, and I called it the Hall of Affirmations with all dessert positive phrases. So these are a couple of the art.
And that's the Instagram account, okay,
Yes.
where they can follow what's going on with the project
Yes.
and the festival.
Yes. OMG Dessert Goals.
Yeah, let me
We
zoom in.
shoot all of the photos.
Liam is asking, do you use mock-ups or do you shoot everything yourselves? So I guess maybe this one is a mock-up, maybe, no?
No.
It's a real
Oh,
iPhone?
no, that's not a real iPhone.
Ah, that's a mock-up.
Yeah, that's a mock-up.
But this
This is
real?
a mock-up.
Ah, this is a mock-up too?
Yeah, that's a mock-up.
That's a mock-up.
Yeah.
You tricked me.
That is not a
That's
mock-up.
real.
That's me.
That's real.
That's real, and that's
real.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to graphic design, UI, you can achieve like great quality. You see with mock-up, like, you tricked me. Like I thought it was real. So good
It
job.
worked.
It worked. Oh, some lettering. Look at that.
Yeah, so Dylan's Candy Bar was actually one of our sponsors for the event last year, and so got to get a bunch of free candy and play with it and shoot some photos. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Perks of the job.
Do you know the lettering artist? Her name is Becca Klassen.
No.
Okay, can we switch to the main camera? I will do a quick search. I need to show you that.
Yes, I would love to see.
Becca Klassen.
Oh, this is
There we
beautiful.
go. Yeah, we can come back. And she did one live with us
Oh my god.
in the studio, and it's stop motion, so she can animate everything.
Oh
and
my
she did
God.
one with candies. Oh no, okay. We need to switch to the GoPro very quickly because the 99U crowd is coming back from the auditorium around us. So we might have to speak louder.
All right.
Okay,
all right.
there will be some big vibe around us, so that's cool. So that's Becca, yeah.
That's
I will send
awesome.
you, I will send you an introduction email because she's really
I would
great.
love to meet her. This looks
And
amazing.
and she does like this awesome work, like.
That's insane.
So yeah, you could collaborate with Candice,
Yeah.
Deezer, like.
My handwriting is not that good. I don't know how she's like planning it out. I gotta watch that.
And
video.
that's her thing. She only does that.
Oh my
She
god.
only does that. So yeah.
So
Awesome.
talented.
So yeah, but actually she was showing on Adobe Live her first lettering with food, and it looked like this. Like it wasn't very evolved, and
Yeah.
then step by step, practicing, she became this. Like that's her job now.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking about it. Like, watch this. Wow, I love this one.
Yeah, this was, we worked with Juicy Couture for their new fragrance, which literally the bottle looks like a cupcake.
Oh yeah, here.
And so this was one of the images I shot
Wow.
for that collaboration.
And the hand with the iPhone, it's
That's
real?
real. That's
Wow.
a real one.
Very well
Yeah.
done. It's not easy. Really not easy. Oh yeah, you have pins. You designed them?
I designed the pins. We sold these at the festival and gave some of them away, but these are the official pins of Dessert Goals.
So how does it work? Like if you have friends interested in creating, pins with their design. So
Yeah.
do you do it? Can you do it online, or you have to contact a specific service?
Yeah, there's a lot of companies online that now will print these pins for you. They're pretty affordable.
Yeah.
So anywhere from like, depending on where you find the vendor, it's anywhere from like $1 to $4 for, depending on whether it's a soft enamel, hard enamel, plus packaging costs. So they're pretty affordable to print and really fun.
Yeah. And they look great. And do you have to limit the number of colors? I guess you have some constraints, no?
Yeah, there's some constraints. I think the one with the most color maybe has like 5 or 6 in it.
Yeah, maybe this one.
So yeah.
Wow.
We also,
Is it something that you would sell, or?
We do have a boutique. These jackets were custom made that we just kind of like glued a bunch of patches on. So that's me and my partner.
And you get like nice reviews.
Yeah.
2111. Wow. It's a huge success. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So this is something that you started on the side,
Yes.
and that you're still working on this on the side.
Yes.
Do you see it like becoming maybe a full-time job one day, or you want to keep your
Yeah.
it as a side project? And how do you see the future?
I think for me, I'm the type of person who just loves doing a bunch of different things. So I definitely love that this can be a side project, and it fulfills a lot for me in terms of like designing all these different types of things.
Yeah. And maybe you will hire a team
Yeah,
someday.
maybe.
They will work on time on this, and you can start exploring other projects.
Totally.
Awesome. Okay, I think we have we have time for one more. Maybe we can speak about this page.
Yeah.
And your
do that.
strategy,
Yeah.
Because, as I said, like you started with Photoshop 4, so I know you have much more projects to showcase on the portfolio.
Yep.
But you just selected 6. So what is your strategy behind it?
Yep. So this kind of tells a very abbreviated story of my career. I started off with doing a lot more like UX, UI design, and then moving into more experience design. So I have 2 projects in here that kind of get into my experience design. And then Soma Water is kind of more comprehensive. I kind of oversaw a lot of things. And so that was kind of, I wanted to just kind of show the very, very best of my work because I do have so many projects that I've worked on. So kind of really curating it, spending a lot of time on the presentation of each of these things.
Yeah, that's the best stuff.
And then,
Ma Matcha.
Yeah, so Ma Matcha was a project that I started that was all about making matcha drinks and food. And I had never had any experience in the food or hospitality industry, but was kind of just like, why not? Like, let's try this. So I did my very first pop-up at a street fair. A friend of mine was doing an event there. She was like, wanted to share the booth with me. So
you took the pictures too?
I did the photos for this.
You did this, like
the menu design.
So cool.
Business cards.
It's so cool that you use all your design and photography skills to like unleash personal projects like this.
Yes. It's like at first I was like, what is like wedding photography and like advertising design? How is that all gonna like fit together in the future? And then somehow they all make their way into my projects.
That's really amazing. 12 pop-ups.
Yep, so over the last few years, I've done 12 pop-ups total, including one in Italy, which it's funny there, they drink nothing but coffee, so matcha was like totally confusing.
And when you do a pop-up, like is it over one weekend? Like how long is a pop-up experience?
Usually it's just for a few hours.
That's a few hours,
Yeah, so like 5 hours. People usually want to drink matcha during the day, so it's usually just during the day.
It's awesome. No, they want you to create a folder, you know, where you do like /hi for your URL. So it would be like Liang.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
I like
job,
that.
Liang.
It's like the contact page or something.
Yeah, that's a good
Genius.
idea. Or the about, yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, and then some of the other projects on the bottom. Mind Body Green is a very large health and wellness website.
So it's a big brand.
Yeah. I was their creative director and kind of helped them with the rebranding a few years ago. Even though this project's a little bit old, people still recognize the name.
It's a bit dated, at least they see, okay, she worked for a big brand.
And then
so
another,
that's a strategy.
Exactly. And then the other one in my portfolio is a Soul Cycle project. I just kind of worked with them on a landing page on a freelance basis and kind of wanted to put that in there. And, you know, like to be totally honest, it's like this portfolio is meant to help me get clients. So when they see kind of these names, it kind of helps them realize like, oh, this is the caliber of people she's working with. So it's a sales tactic.
So yeah, if you have to give an advice, like, so how do you think like customers, how they perceive this portfolio? How do you think, or what do you want them to perceive, you know, like when they arrive?
I think what I want them to perceive now, and you can see in my title, it used to just say creative director, now it says creative director and experience designer. And so the work that I want to gravitate towards is more around experience design, while still showing that I can do UX, UI, but that's why I lead with more projects that are more experience oriented. And then closer to the bottom is the stuff that I want to work on probably a little bit less, but you can still speak to some of the work that I've done.
Okay. And it looks really awesome. It looks great. I think they have 1 more minute to submit their portfolios, and then we will review 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So this will be great. And then, so you have a classic about page.
Yep.
With a picture of you. You think it's important to share in a shot?
Yeah. People want to see what you look like.
And you're smiling, or like playful, such as your work. I think it's important to show also
It's true.
that your identity is matches your work.
Style.
Yeah. Okay, and you have some clients, some features. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
I'll add this in here afterwards.
Okay. Yeah. And then a way to contact you.
Exactly.
So super efficient.
Yeah. Oh, another thing I can speak to on my form. I learned this a few years ago. If you go to the contact page,
Oh yeah.
If you scroll down, one of the things that I added in here
I wanted to ask you
is
this.
What's your budget? And I kind of anchor it higher than what people typically expect. And then I have like small budget / equity on the bottom. And this is because I want to work with clients who can pay at least $10,000, $20,000.
Okay.
And so this was like easy way kind of like self-filter. So people are like, oh shoot, this is what you start at. Like maybe if I have a really small project, you're not the best fit. And for people who really want to shoot for the stars, they still have that option. If they have like a compelling story, I'm always open to hearing it and seeing if we can work together.
No, it's a great way to refine your market, before they contact you, at least you say, hey, I want to work on big project or not a one-day project. You want to be involved, and also I think that's smart to do like experience designer, especially with the project you did here, where you really created a full experience.
Yes.
And here it's very easy to see, like, so not only you created the brand, but you also created like a in-person experience, a festival, and it's much more, graphic design, clothes, like this. It's really like the full experience. And on top of it, you can enjoy a croissant or a macaron. I mean, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is really great.
Eclairs.
And it's a good idea to put the budget. Yeah, you should try and let us know how it works for you. Do you believe in creating a brand name for yourself or think using your own name? Oh, it's a good question from Liang.
Yeah, I think it really depends. I've noticed that people usually create like a studio name or a brand name.
Yeah.
If they end up like wanting to expand and hire other people. So for me, I haven't gotten to that point where I've thought about expanding in that direction. So I've just used my name.
Yeah. Okay. So it's how you feel,
Yeah.
I have a friend, Gordon Reed. His name is Middle Boop in the community. So sometimes you can come, but he's very funny, so it can work too. Like you're like, okay, he's Middle Boop. So that's great. Okay, quick question. Does anyone have a tip for problems with the synchronization of cloud? Okay, if you have any questions, Massimiliano, technical questions, you can go on the Adobe forums. Okay, and then Stefan, you want to know how to build a website, so I will show you a trick because a lot of people, they don't know that. But when you have a Behance profile, okay, so we can go on my profile, which is not fake, but a little bit fake. If you go to my profile, then what you can do is create an Adobe Portfolio. Actually, it will create a website, and you can customize the URL and everything, choose a template directly in sync with that's Middle Boop actually. That's what we did together live.
Nice.
So directly in sync with what you do on Behance. So if I update this project on Behance, it will be updated on my website. And for people watching, if you are a Creative Cloud member, it's part of the subscription. It's called Adobe Portfolio. So yeah, give it a look because you see like you can customize everything here, the templates, the stuff. This is me doing some funny tests.
Don't click here.
But then you can really like tell your story, what you did, and so it was a 3D printed project.
Very cool.
So yeah, check my portfolio if you want to have a cool website such as Liang, like very clean. It's cool. Okay, I think it's time for some portfolio reviews. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, so we will play a short animation, and we will be back to review 3 portfolios. Okay, let's go. Okay, now we are back. You see, we travel to space to review portfolio because we like to take, like to be very far away, to have a wide angle to enjoy our portfolios. So we have 3 of them. We didn't check them before.
No, brand new.
Brand new, so I have no idea what we will review. So, which is great because, so I want you to be in the skin of someone who wants to hire a designer, let's say.
Okay.
Okay, for your agency or for your project. And we will try to understand what's going on, okay? So when we arrive here, so we have Mike Carrera, who is from Lisbon. Mike, let me know if you're in the chat.
Hi,
say
Mike.
Hi. Bom dia, I don't know how you say in Portuguese, but we'll find a way to communicate, say something. Mike Carrera, so yeah, he's from Lisbon, beautiful city.
I want to visit. It's on my to-do list.
Oh, that's a good sign when I see this, like featured 2 times in the graphic design category
Very
of
cool.
Behance. It's a good sign.
Yep.
Okay. And okay, I'm like, oh, he's like you, see? Multidisciplinary designer based in Lisbon. Typography and branding.
Yep.
Okay, so stuff that you like. Okay, editorial packaging. Oh, interesting. Let's see that. And that's a lot of projects. Okay, so we can talk about it.
Yep.
When you look at this portfolio, is there one that you want to open, like one project? You say, oh, I want to know more.
I think for me, the first thing I kind of notice is kind of the color palette of these projects. They're all a little bit similar. It's a little bit darker, muted tones.
Yeah.
And so,
it's very consistent.
Yeah, it is very consistent. I think maybe that first one I'm a little curious about.
Yeah, I'm curious too. So it's, I would say something for a vinyl. Secret 7 is it's an event that combines music and art.
Perfect.
So it's a bit like the festival you organize. Okay.
Very nice.
Nice picture.
Love the illustrations.
Okay, check that.
Very cool.
Oh, so that's the experience, I guess. You see, like on shelves, you get some vinyl covers.
Yeah, I really like the presentation, how he
Yeah.
did these like orange
with
things on the side, just kind of like give it a sense of
how did he did that? Okay.
togetherness.
He did one big file, you see?
Yeah.
So that's a trick. So one quick advice for you, Mike, because you have also delimiters here. It's nice in Photoshop to cut these files, so for several reasons actually. The first one is that if I want to zoom in or go full screen on this, I tend to click here and then it will do the opposite because it will show everything. So if you cut everything like pixel by pixel, like it can be pixel perfect, and also it will load faster because now it's waiting like this entire image to load before showing something. So just a quick tip. It looks great. Okay, so let's go back to the story.
Yeah.
7 of the best known musicians and press. Okay, so it's around 7 inches.
Yeah.
7 inches.
Yeah, so I guess the thing I'm not clear on here is, so he did a chosen track, but then the photos are of like the entire event. So I'm curious, like, did he also contribute to the design of the space, or was it just kind of? I'm guessing it was just the one contribution of that album cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. So but it's true. Like if something is confusing, that's something that maybe you can clarify. But it looks great. Okay, what else should we try? There's another one here. So now I want to see if it's the same project or no. Rooftop and Slow, such as Night Fell. 4th album, representing the cover. Okay, so it's a real cover album, I guess.
Very cool.
A German rock band. Oh, okay.
Very
Awesome.
cool. Yeah, I think the presentation up there is beautiful. I love that it's kind of interesting to look at with the album and the record on the side.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and I like that there are kind of these bigger zoomed in versions as well as kind of the smaller, more playful presentations on top.
And it's true that you have to design also.
Yeah.
It's coming here. Yeah.
It's
Good
fun.
point. Yeah, nice style. Okay.
Yep.
And maybe something more serious.
Yeah.
Ministerio Público.
Yeah.
Ooh. Looks like a mock-up here. Okay, so let's try to understand what he had in mind. Okay?
Yes.
So I guess it was the, what's the name? You know, what you have on a flag or,
Yes, like the crest.
yeah, of the ministerial maybe, or maybe of the city or the country. So I guess he tried to extract the main elements.
Yeah.
With the 5 square, okay, the badge.
Very cool.
Oh,
Yep. I appreciate that he put a minimum size. Sometimes with complex detail logos, people lose that when he gets smaller.
okay. So it's good to show that he was like thinking
Yes,
about it.
Exactly.
And then several applications of the same logo, I guess, for some services of the Ministerio. Oh, Mike says, thank you for giving me feedback. I mean, you're welcome. Like, thanks for sharing. This is
Yes.
awesome. Yeah, it looks very professional when I see this.
Totally.
So, okay, like he knows what he's doing
Yep.
when it comes to logo and branding, and a nice mock-up.
Yep.
Oh, look at this.
Very nice.
Ah, interesting. Let us know, Mike, if it's a mock-up or if you actually took a picture. I'm pretty sure it's a mock-up, but I mean, who knows? You know? You surprise me, you know, with taking pictures, who knows? And yeah, some other mock-ups. Thanks for watching. That's nice. Follow me also. It's a good idea.
Yep.
And yeah, always keep this friendly tone. Okay, I will leave an appreciation. I like this one. Okay, so general feedback on Mike, his portfolio. How do you feel about his work?
I think seeing that last one was really great because it kind of showed the thoughtfulness from beginning to end, from the branding to how the usage is. And I guess there's probably more projects in there like that, but I would like to see more comprehensive presentations. I really enjoy being able to understand the story of how everything was done and how it's applied. So I think that one was really great.
Cool. Anel, thanks for joining us. If you are just watching us, so we're reviewing Portfolio now, and this is something that we'll do over 2 days with all the beautiful creative people of New York. We're live from the Adobe 19 conference, so stay tuned. At the top of every hour, we will have a new guest, and we just reviewed with Liang the portfolio of Mike. And you saw, Mike, that we picked the first 3, and this is actually usually what people do.
Oh, yeah.
On Behance, you know, like you say, okay, let me check the last one. So something you need to be aware of also if you are on Behance, and some people don't know that, but you can reorder. So it doesn't have to be the chronological order. So you can say, oh, you know what, this week I will try to feature the work I did with Middlebrook and the T-shirt I've designed, you know? And maybe I will test it for 1 or 2 weeks and see if I, you know, get more views, more leads, you know?
Yep.
So don't hesitate to reorder your project on Behance, okay?
Yeah. In that case, I would recommend kind of grouping similar projects because there was like a record and then an identity and then another record. And so being able to group those so I can kind of understand how all the work fits together.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. Because here it's like pure illustration, more design, you know, icon design.
This could be something I would recommend maybe as one of the last few items in the portfolio because
it's not connected to a brand or something. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, great illustrator skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe, okay, let's do packaging, okay, just for fun.
Sure. Very nice.
Swico, that's what I read. I guess it's a W. Okay, that's my guess. I would say Swico.
Swico, yes. Swiss white chocolate drink. Lettering, very beautiful packaging.
Okay. Oh, nice reflection here. So it's nice render. Oh, that's chocolate for sure.
Oh yeah,
when you
I
see
want
that.
some.
It's interesting to share the...
Yes.
This is something you had to do?
Yes, so we definitely had to do kind of like, especially for
Soma?
For Soma, complex like box designs, how it folds. We have very specific kind of die lines to design out.
Yeah, did you try to work on the experience, like when you open the package?
Yes.
And you had to consider everything?
Yes, so especially when you start doing these larger shipments, you have to do drop tests. It has to be able to withstand, you know, drops
like
from a certain... And so the product can't break when it's inside.
Is it something like official, like to be certified? Or it's just for you, like you don't want to the returns? So
I mean, it's definitely, you don't want people returning broken product and having to pay for the fees of that, but also certain stores require that you have to have done these tests in the past.
Someone is asking, is it used in Dimension? So Adobe Dimension is like Adobe XD, it's one of the new generation application of Creative Cloud, and it lets you do like 3D renders like this, but without knowing 3D.
I got to try that.
So it's in your Creative Cloud apps now, and then you can drag and drop from Illustrator the logo.
Okay.
And it will apply it on the 3D object. You can change the background image, and it will render with this quality. Super cool. Okay, yeah.
It's very nice.
Okay, thank you, Mike, for sharing. I think it's great. And we have Nick Longo in the chat. If you have any questions about packaging, Nick Longo is the master. So good to see you, Nick. Okay, let's try another one, okay?
Sure.
So this one is, one from LA. I would say Gennaro Equinon Gascon. Equinon with a...
Yep.
You know, something mysterious happened. I don't know what. Okay, let's see who he is. LA, okay, he worked for top 10 corporation, okay, so big names apparently. His forte, okay, typography, design for prints, and fine art, okay.
Very nice.
Yeah, he works for AT&T, Chevrolet, so okay, I get it. That's
very good self-branding there, I feel, when people can read your credentials, know you have experience.
You think it's important, yeah, to directly get it?
Name drop.
Okay. Okay, so which one do you want to see?
Let's look at the first one.
So apparently it's maybe its own website. Branding, interaction design, and web design. Okay, so it's very rock. Oh, something weird happening here. And then, okay, Anycon. For me, like it's more like entering the universe of street artists.
Yeah.
So I guess I hope it's the intent.
Yeah.
Let us know if you're watching.
Works.
And the work. Oh yeah, definitely street
very
art.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean it's a very specific vibe, you know,
yeah.
like street art has to be mysterious.
Yeah, I mean this is definitely a more interesting, if this is his portfolio website, it's a different approach to designing, because usually people want to keep the website itself like very clean and minimal, and the work is kind of diverse. So when I see something like this, I expect all of the work to have that tone, that like kind of streetwear, like street vibe. So
yeah, you need something very bold, like the pictures have to huge impact, stay mysterious with the branding here, like you only see the eyes.
Yeah.
That's good. But he does also, I guess, traditional graphic design, because now we will see some logos.
Oh, fun.
Square cut cat skates. Oh, he has like tiny skates. Oh
my God, that's so cute.
It works well because it's just a black shape, you know?
Yep.
Okay, with the square. Okay, a lot of proposals. So far, I like the first one. There we go. I think this one is definitely the one that has a lot of impact.
I like the experimentation here. It kind of shows that he's willing to take risks and do designs that are, completely different from each other. And I like that one is, something here on the bottom left corner is a little bit more like just typography based, and then there's like fun illustration. So it's nice to see that variety of skills.
Yeah, this is fun too, like there is something there too. And apparently his process is that he starts with tracing paper.
Yeah, this looks amazing.
And then I guess he jumps in Illustrator to vectorize everything.
Yeah.
Make it very clean so you can scale it.
Yeah.
Which is a very classic process. Do you like to start sketching on paper too, or?
I actually go straight into Photoshop.
Okay, and you start experimenting.
Yeah, I start experimenting there.
You have a tablet, or?
I don't use a tablet right now,
okay.
But mostly just like straight on the laptop. But I do sketch, especially for UX UI work, for UX work specifically, wireframing, things like that. I do like to kind of at least figure out what the flow will be on paper before I start designing things out.
This is great. Okay, so like, I mean, it's very easy to feel your universe. Like, I get it, like street art.
Yep.
A lot of work, like maybe another one.
Very
It's
cool.
a cute picture. Yeah, decal, I mean, all these techniques, with different layers.
Yeah, this is kind of some of the fine art skills showing.
Yeah. Yeah, great, and and he's in LA, so I guess that's the scene.
Yeah.
Good job. And we discovered the work of Jasper too. He's based in Toronto. Okay, very good to put a biography. Always remember to put a paragraph describing yourself. He wants to become a UI UX designer. Okay, so I guess you can really help our friend here.
Yeah.
Okay, which one should we check? Maybe a mobile app design?
Yes.
And he used Adobe XD. You see, that's the
Yep.
application I was talking about. That's great.
Yeah, so one question I have is when you put something like aspiring, are you a student? Because typically I would just put, either junior or just UX UI designer and have other people judge where you are, because the hiring person's going to know based on your body of work. So anytime you put that, you're kind of identifying as not a UX UI designer, even if your portfolio is showing it. So I would recommend just taking that out.
Okay. Good advice. You hear, Jasper? So also, like, I think he's describing like the entire brief.
Yep.
How do you feel about this? Like, is it too long? Is it good
It's
to
too
show
much.
brief?
Yeah.
It's too much?
I
Okay.
want to hear about this like in an interview with you and a conversation. I probably don't want to read all of this.
Okay.
So I just want to see the work, and if you do have to explain some of it, for example, you're showing like a grid and the thought process behind that. Like, I think the screens itself will explain a little bit more on their own, and just keep it brief. I think that was too much text.
So he's using here a very nice feature of Adobe XD, which is that you can publish an interactive prototype and embed it on Behance. So here it should be interactive, you see?
Very cool.
Yeah, so we can really like
Oh, that's fun.
check what's going on, you know, and to show you, okay, oh, nice
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this
Notification.
speaks so strongly to the work.
Yeah.
The previous stuff, I think, doesn't speak as strongly because I'm not reading it.
You see all the screen he has been
Wow,
working on, it's
yeah.
a lot. Oh, that's an interview like a UX
Amazing.
research. Oh yeah, with the user persona.
Very cool.
It's great work. All of you should check that because you have all the steps
Yeah.
in one portfolio. But yeah, it's a very long story.
Yes.
And then that's the version 2. Ah, okay, so he shows like before and after. You see like the login experience is
Yes.
different now.
Yes.
We have still notifications. Ah, it takes the full screen.
Yeah.
So you get some learning.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a nice story, but yeah, maybe a bit too much information, but the
Yeah.
work is great.
I think as a hiring manager, I probably just want to see that last one,
Okay.
the version 2, and then in the interview process, you can kind of show me like the before, all of the personas and things like that, and the research work you've done, and then that kind of like ties it all together.
It's a very good point because something, yeah, it's great that you speak about it because you will be like people will catch your portfolio, be interesting. Okay, they want to know more. Like you don't have to deliver everything.
Yes.
They want to know more, and that's why they will call you. And then there is the interview process,
Yes.
in person or using Skype. And this is when you will have the opportunity to tell the entire story. It's a very good point because if you unveil everything, then you have the interview and like.
Yeah.
Okay, everything is on the page. You know.
Yeah.
So it will be like the second layer. It will add
Yeah.
a bonus
Exactly.
to your work. Yeah, same here. Like a lot of details. Again, like great execution at the end. Like it's really good. Like the research is clean and it looks
Yeah.
already very professional. But yeah, maybe Jasper, try to tell a story step by step. Okay. Then to deliver everything. Okay, so that was great. So it was 3 portfolios that we wanted to review. You gave excellent tips.
Yeah.
So that's great. If you have like, we still have like 2 minutes together, like general advice that you want to give to aspiring designers or aspiring experience designers.
Yeah, I would say, don't be afraid to follow your whims. If there's something that you want to do, but you're like, you know what, I'm not a photographer, but I'm curious about photography, or I'm not this, but I'm curious about it. Like, just go do it. And the moment you do it, you become that. So I think for me, it's very important to just kind of keep experimenting, trying new things. I started off in doing just graphic design, web design, and kind of branched out and did a bunch of things, and I'm still learning a bunch of things, so keep doing that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For coming here.
Thanks everyone
sharing
for
your work.
watching.
Yeah, let's all say thank you to Liang Shi. I mean, it was really great to have you, and I wish you good luck with the festival. I think it's a great idea. You have to do it in San Francisco, okay?
Soon.
Okay, just work on it because I will be the first in the line.
All right, I'll see you there.
Yeah, I want to be there. And good luck with all your projects.
Thank you.
In general. And see you soon on Behance, see you soon everywhere, okay? How people can follow you, like what is the best social network? Instagram maybe?
Instagram is probably the one I update the most. My handle is Liangs, Liangs.
Okay, that's easy to follow.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much, and stay tuned. We will have a new guest coming in about 5 minutes here. Again, we will discover their work, we will do some portfolio reviews. So stay tuned. We will be back on behance.net/live. Bye everyone.
Bye.